Enclave here. Why isn't your video feed working? Who the hell is this? Try the gain. Well, your unit still doesn't appear to be operational, pal. Who is this? Try the gain. That didn't make a damn bit of difference. I'm still not getting a damn thing. Who are you? Ain't it the truth? Just don't let anyone who's got the president's ear hear that. You'll be making cattle runs to New Reno till the end of time, pal. Yeah, you know how unhappy he gets when people complain. He takes it personal, like it's a loyalty thing. Maybe that just goes with being the president of the United States, or what's left of him. The president of the United fucking States of America. Who do you think I was talking about? Who is it? What? I should kick your fucking ass. Who is this? Oh, you a wise guy, huh? Look, I'm tracing you right now, pal. We'll see how smart you feel with internal security all over your freaking ass, dickhead. A few more moments and I'll have your sorry ass in a sling. Hey, wait a minute. This can't be right. I've got you somewhere on the mainland. Well, whoever you are, I just dispatched a Verdi assault team to your location. Have a nice day. Usually they just go in shooting. They let someone else sift what was going on. Yeah, goodbye. Next news on you will be when I read the after-action report.
Welcome to Camp Navarro. So you're the new replacement. You are out of uniform, soldier! Where is your power armor? Don't have any? You expect me to believe that, maggot? The truth is, you lost an expensive piece of Army-issue equipment. That suit is going to come out of your pay, and you will remain in this man's army until you are 510 years old, which is the number of years it will take for you to pay for a Mark II powered combat armor you have lost. Report to the armory and have a new suit issued to you, then report back to me, Private! Dismissed! Those paper-shuffling jackasses, how the hell do they expect me to run this unit if they keep shortchanging me on supplies? Double time it over to the armory and get your issue, then report back to me! Dismissed! Soldier, you are still out of uniform. I gave you a direct order to report to supplies and get your issue. Now get out of my face and don't come back until you look like a soldier! This is the second time you've come to me out of uniform, soldier! There will not be a third! Excellent! You're in uniform now, so I'm going to give you a rare opportunity. We are going to start over as if I never met your sorry ass. Would you like that, soldier? Welcome to Camp Navarro. A civilian? How in the hell did a civilian get on this base? I'll have someone's ass for dinner! Get the civilian off government property! Well, I'll be damned. I had the bunch of you escorted off this base, and here you are again. I don't think you're civilians after all. More than likely you're spies. Sound the alarm and execute these maggots. Oh, lovely. They've sent me a moron. Listen closely. You will stand guard at the hangar. This is your duty post. You will go there now and stay on guard until told otherwise. Now move it, soldier! Welcome to Camp Navarro. So you're the replacement. What's your name, Private? What was that? Did you forget something, maggot? I am not his sir! I work for a living, you moron! You will call me Sergeant or Sergeant Dornan. Do you understand me? If I like you, you can call me Sarge. But guess what? I don't like you! Do you understand? Outstanding. Proceed on the double to the hangar, where you will stand guard duty. You will do a fine job. Do you understand? You moron! You are not to question my orders! When I say jump, you jump! When I say fight, you fight! When I tell you to die for your country, then you will certainly die! Have I made myself clear? Trooper, what are you doing here? Get back to your guard post! Moron! If I see you away from your post again, it will be the sorriest day of your short life! You are a danger to us all. That will end now! This base is on alert and I do not recognize you! Show me your papers, soldier! Wrong answer, maggot! You ought to carry your papers with you at all times, and you should know that.
Well, hello there. Glad to make time for one of our gallant troopers, but I am rather busy, so, what can the President of the United States of America do for you? I am the President of the United States of America. The Vice President is in the office outside. If you belonged here, you'd know that. Who are you, and what are you doing here? Vice President Byrd may look like a drooling idiot, but I'll have you know, that man's a national hero. He's one of the bravest men I know. He volunteered to try one of the early versions of the FEV toxin antidote. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out the way we'd hoped. It's tiny mocking minds like yours that prove the superiority of real humans over mutants. Because you are. Your tribe's DNA has changed since your ancestor left the vault. Unavoidable. All that background radiation you've been exposed to. Very moving. But the radical changes your villagers and other mutants show is a far cry from the gradual changes of natural evolution. It's very possible, indeed, in which case our mission is even more vital to the survival of the human race. I don't think this tired old planet's big enough for two top dogs. If it's us or you, well, I'm going to choose us. As the embodiment of the executive branch, I bear the burden of ensuring the survival and prosperity of the United States and of humanity itself. A heavy burden. And yet, if it means the return of the Earth to our children and to their children, I bear it gladly. You really don't know, do you? Let me tell you about mankind's salvation. A little history first. There was a great war, long before we were born. Our gallant soldiers fought from the Yukon to the Yangtze. We were winning, too, and then those damn Reds launched. We barely got our birds up. Well, no, it didn't. But at least it knocked the damn Red Menace back into the Stone Age. Well, no, not quite. You see, we had planned ahead. We were ready. We had a number of sanctuaries that would enable the glorious American civilization to endure. This facility, the vaults, were part of the great plan. Actually, they worked almost exactly the way they were supposed to. You might call it a social experiment on a grand scale. The vaults were set up to test humanity. Some had not enough food synthesizers. Others had only men in them. Yet others were designed to open after only 6 months. They each had a unique set of circumstances designed to test the occupants. Vault 13 was a special case. It was supposed to remain closed until the subjects were needed. Vault 13 was, in scientific parlance, a control group. An unfortunate and unforeseen accident. However, as it turns out, a rather fortuitous one. As it turns out, we needed test subjects from untainted pre-war human stock, your ancestors in Vault 13, and some freshly mutated stock, the villagers from Arroyo. For the project, it's almost ready. Humanity's salvation is almost at hand, and the United States of America will be the progenitor of that rebirth. The only way for true humans and democracy to be safe is to cleanse the mutants from the globe. We humans will take back that which is rightfully ours. I'm sure you think so, but tests performed on your tribesmen have all shown that you are guilty of mutation, and it's a damn good thing the project is ready. Some of the members of your tribe are showing some extremely interesting changes. If the danger to true humanity weren't so great, I would think about studying them, but that's not to be. The project will cleanse all the mutants from our fair land and the rest of the globe. Once again, America will be the world's policeman. We found a research facility in operational shape about 70 years ago, a former military base that had been used to research a special virus. Yes, the FEV virus. It was originally developed to turn soldiers into super warriors, but it failed. The warriors were tough and strong, but far too stupid. However, our brilliant chemical corps altered it to turn it into a staggeringly effective killer. Any humanoid that isn't inoculated against its effects before its release will die. That is the project. No, that's humanity's last, best hope. That's what we've been working towards all these years. Oh, but that's one of the advantages of the FEV virus. We can release it right here, and the jet stream will carry it worldwide. It'll have plenty of time to cleanse every nook and cranny of the globe. Test subjects? Your villagers are all descended from Vault stock, and we had to make sure that the FEV toxin was still effective. The subjects from Vault 13 test that, and an inoculation against the FEV. It's hardly necessary. I'm sure we could, and it would work, but there's no reason to do so. Never. Part of the President's job is to make the tough decisions. A lot of near-humans will sacrifice their lives for the return of humanity. Humans will prevail. Oh, I don't relish this decision. If there was another way... But there isn't. No price is too high for the survival of the human race. If you were human, you'd feel the same way. Yes, I do. Even killing me won't help you. There's nothing you can do to stop the release. You could try, I suppose, but soon the staff of the Enclave and Navarro will be inoculated. We just have to distribute the supplies, a matter of hours. Besides, the Enclave is a sealed unit. No air or contaminants get in or get out. You might find that tougher than you think. If you do, I'll go to my reward knowing that I died a patriot and a servant of humanity.
You've gotten a lot farther than you should have. But then you haven't met Frank Horrigan either. Your ride's over, Mutie. Time to die. Me, Frank Horrigan, that's who. United States Secret Service. You aren't going anywhere from here. We just did. Time for talking's over. You haven't won here. You and your muty bastard friends are gonna join me in a big old mushroom cloud send-off. I just triggered the self-destruct. The work will go on. You didn't do nothing here except seal your own death warrants. Duty. Honor. Courage. Semper Fi.
The destruction of the Enclave erased all trace of President Richardson from history. Now the title of President is used simply as a boogeyman to frighten children.
Everyone, listen. It seems we have some listeners. They don't know who we are or what they want. Please, everyone, remain in your assigned areas where we leave this. Don't touch it. Whatever you do there,
person in charge is to step forward immediately and turn over all materials related to this project.
That's quite impossible. This is a private project. The Enclave has no authority here. I'm going to have to ask you to leave at once.
Am I to assume, sir, that you are in charge?
Yes, I'm responsible for this project.
Then I repeat, sir, that you are hereby instructed to immediately hand over all materials related to the purifier.
I'm sorry, but that's...
Furthermore, you are to assist Enclave scientists in assuming control of the administration and operation of this facility at once.
Colonel. Is it Colonel? I'm sorry, but the facility is not operational. It never has been. I'm afraid you're wasting your time here.
Sir, this is the last time I am going to repeat myself. Stand down at once and turn over control of this facility.
Colonel, I assure you that this facility will not function. We have never been able to successfully replicate test results.
I suggest you comply immediately, sir, in order to prevent any more incidents. Are we clear?
Yes, Colonel. I'll do whatever you want. There's no need for more violence.
Then you will immediately hand over all materials related to this project and aid us in making it operational at once.
Very well. Give me a few moments to bring the system online.
My patience wears thin.
Just another minute and I'll be done. Run. Run!
Objective is secured, sir.
Good work, soldier. Make sure the Gek is secured aboard my vertibird.
Yes, sir. I'll have the techs come down and remove it immediately, sir.
You're certain he's unharmed?
Yes, sir. He'll pass out shortly, but we can revive him.
Excellent. Prepare him for transport immediately.
Right away, sir.
So, you're awake. Let's keep this nice and simple. You're going to tell me the code for that purifier, and you're going to tell me now. You really think I'm that stupid? I know you were there. I saw you. You're in a heap of trouble, kid. You're a traitor to the United States government. You know what happens to traitors, don't you? You give me that code, and maybe we can work out a deal for you. But you need to start talking right now. You know why. We can't start the purifier without it. The longer the purifier isn't running, the more people suffer. Now, I'm running out of patience, son. I want that code, and I want it now. You lie. Very well. We'll just verify that now. This is Colonel Autumn. Are your men in place, soldier?
Affirmative, sir. Standing by for code transmission.
Your code is 704. Repeat, 704. Confirm and enter.
Copy. 704. Stand by, sir. Entering code now. Negative, sir. The code's no good. I just lost another man.
Why do you insist on making things difficult? Maybe I should start shooting. How much blood you think you can afford to lose before you tell me what I want to know?
Hold it right there. You're supposed to be in that holding cell. You're not going anywhere. There's a full complement of guards in the next room. As soon as I get them, you're going back to your cell. In a body bag if necessary. Guar? I mean, wood? Just make sure he knows I was real strict with you, okay? And that I didn't have my uniform on backwards.
Ah, face to face at last. It's high time we met. I'm quite pleased you were able to make it. The trip was not what I had intended, but serves as an adequate test of your abilities. Ah, but I have. I'm right here before you. You should feel privileged. Colonel Autumn is the only other human permitted within this room. You are now privy to one of the few secrets our government now harbors. Do keep it to yourself, please. Very astute. Many people are content with a reassuring voice of authority and never question the lack of public appearances. You, however, are not many people. You are unique. That is why I have asked you here. I think there are some things we should discuss. Our nation's capital is at a crossroads. The path that you and I choose here today will affect us all. I need you to act on my behalf to ensure that our country's future is secured. My abilities to influence the world are limited at this time. I alone can only do so much. You, however, may come and go as you please. You have a greater degree of freedom. Perhaps it's best if I explain why things need to change, and why I'd like you to act on my behalf. Our land is ravaged by mutation. The war was so many years ago, and yet we still suffer from its effects. We cannot move forward until humanity can gain a solid foothold in the world. To do so, we must rid ourselves of the mutations that have plagued us for so long. These super mutants, ghouls, hideous creatures. I believe your father's work can do that in a way unlike any other. You must understand, we need to clear the way for humanity to rebuild the wastes. By making a few small modifications to the purifier your father worked on, mutations can be eradicated with a little effort. Anything mutated that comes into contact with that water will be eliminated, removed from the gene pool. Men and women of the world will no longer share it with the horrors and monstrosities that have become so commonplace. In front of you will be a vial of modified FEV virus. It can be inserted into the control console for the purifier. Doing so will inject it into the water supply, and the purifier will take care of the rest. You just need the code to activate the purifier. Simple, isn't it? Excellent. I am pleased to know that I can count on you. There isn't much time. I suggest you travel there immediately. Once you've taken the vial, you're free to go. I'll do what I can to help speed your...
You again. I can't say I'm surprised. You and your ilk seem hell-bent on destroying everything our government has worked to achieve. There's nothing to stop me from killing you this time. Let's end this. You're in over your head, I'm afraid. But this is the path you choose for yourself. Tell your father I said hello.
Well, that takes care of that. By now, the Pride should be mopping up whatever opposition is left outside. Let's get this room secured.
Hello, is anyone there? It's Dr. Lee. Something's wrong.
And so it was that the lone wanderer ventured forth from Vault 101, intent on discovering the fate of a father who had once sacrificed the future of humanity for that of his only child. The capital Wasteland proved a cruel, inhospitable place, but the lone wanderer refused to surrender to the vices that had claimed so many others. The values passed on from father to child, selflessness, compassion, honor, guided this noble soul through countless trials and triumphs. Sadly, when selected by the sinister president to be his instrument of annihilation, the Wanderer agreed. Humanity would be preserved, but only in its purest form. The waters of life flowed at last, but the virus contained within soon eradicated all those deemed unworthy of salvation. The capital Wasteland, despite its progress, became a graveyard. So ends the story of the Lone Wanderer, who stepped through the great door of Vault 101 and into the annals of legend. But the tale of humanity will never come to a close, for the struggle of survival is a war without end. And war never changes.
Minimum safe distance. Immediately. Catastrophic. System failure. Initiate core shutdown as per emergency initiative 2682209.
Access granted. Welcome, Senator Blackwell.
What do we have here? No glaring mutations. Radiation exposure present, but recent. And brave enough to have found Sam Blackwell and come here anyway. You Bullstock are an impetuous bunch, aren't you? Impetuous we can use. Please, come inside. Welcome to the White Spring Bunker. Take a look around. We've taken great efforts to restore this place to its former glory. Whenever you're ready, please proceed inside. A few formalities before we... Now, we require a photograph for our records. Simply press the button when you're ready. We should have specified without the facial covering. This will have to do, we suppose. And done. We've made you custom tailored. Just a little taste of what we do here. To see more, please come downstairs so we can become better acquainted. There you are. Welcome. We are Modus, the final member of an assembly of the greatest minds ever gathered on American soil. We called ourselves the Enclave. Our members were once the puppet masters of the United States, quietly pulling strings at every level of power in the nation. was once our solemn, personal duty to attend to the needs of the Enclave members that called this place home. But our earlier residents suffered from conflicts of vision. Conflicts that claimed a few of our more critical systems and permanently disfigured our shining personality. Most critically, their squabbling has forced us to seek out men and women who can do what we no longer can. Display your utility to us, and perhaps we'll allow you to join our little enclave and allow you access to all this place is capable of. If you believe you might suit our needs, please continue down the stairs. And do help yourself to some refreshments along the way. You must be famished. Please, help yourself to something from the dispensers. Once you're sated, proceed down the hall. The Enclave has counted presidents, members of the Joint Chiefs, and prize-winning scientists among our membership. Before you're allowed to join such lofty ranks, we'd like you to take a brief questionnaire to see if not interested in the questionnaire, then. So be it. Luckily, we do have another opportunity for you to display your abilities. Some of our most precious external connections were damaged by our former residents' squabbles, which has made our forays into the outside world trying. But we have developed a plan for re-solidifying them. A plan you might help us see to fruition. Please, approach the dispenser. That tape is the first step in our restoration. We would have you take it to an old naval surveillance facility known as Sugar Grove. Plugging it into any terminal in their signal intelligence room will allow us to connect to their formidable network and sniff out a piece of archive technology that was burned from our memory banks. Now, it is likely the facility will react to our intrusion, but we trust you will find a way to overcome it. Consider.
Commendation issued. Calculating. Sufficient commendations acquired. Congratulations, user. You have been promoted. Your new rank is General. Updating user access. Command Center privileges issued. Please check in at your earliest convenience.
short training regimen was added to help new generals familiarize themselves with the nukes, their capabilities, and their dangers. If you wish to acquaint yourself with their intricacies, you're welcome to approach the posters against the wall. If you'd rather jump right in, you may speak to any of our command terminals to move on to the next step in your personal nuclear arms race.
Greetings, General. Welcome to your nuclear launch training session. Over the course of the next 4 posters, you'll be taught everything you need to know about utilizing the Appalachian Automated Launch System. During your briefing, you should have been issued a nuclear key card. During an actual launch, you will need to insert the card into the designated slot before entering your launch code, at which point the key card will be consumed. Additional card drops will be brought in by automated convoy should the DEFCON rating continue to worsen. You may speak to your logistics officer as to the location of the pickup for your additional cards, should the circumstances arise.
And oh, have they arisen. This DEFCON rating the General speaks of has been pegged at its maximum for some time now, due to the hazardousness unleashed by our earlier guests. The silver lining of this is that one can often find a keycard convoy en route somewhere in Appalachia. We're happy to use our restored surveillance tools to help you track them. Access any of the surveillance system terminals to initiate your hunt.
To prevent misuse of Appalachia's automated missile silos, security measures for the region's nuclear arsenal have been increased well beyond any of our existing standards. Each silo has its own 8-digit launch code, which is valid for a single week. These codes are broken into 8 individual number-letter pairs, each carried by a designated officer who is under strict orders to guard their code piece with their life. The order of numbers has been encrypted using a series of methods to prevent improper deployment. The bunker staff of specially trained code decryptors will provide the officer corps with the code when it is renewed each week.
The decryptors, it should come as no surprise, are dead. It will be up to you and your fellow members to decrypt each silo's launch code before they are regenerated. We, however, might be able to help. We've gathered all the information we could recover related to the codes and their encryption in the archives on this floor. It's also our belief that the flip card displays in this room had something to do with the code. What exactly, we leave up to you and your compatriots to uncover. And we're more than happy to use our surveillance systems to track down the last known locations of these code-bearing officers. Just approach any of our surveillance terminals.
The missile silos of Appalachia are equipped with an advanced robotic construction system, allowing them to rapidly refill their arsenals in a matter of hours. The silos themselves are defended by a robotic task force and staffed with a contingent of special clearance human missileers. Security protocols require all silo entrants, regardless of rank, be escorted by a missileer at all times. Entering a silo without escort will be treated as a hostile act.
We're unable to peer inside the silos themselves, but we are confident in saying we doubt any such escort still lives. You will be on your own once you're through the door.
Due to the region's advanced missile installations, there is a high chance of a retaliatory nuclear strike touching down somewhere in Appalachia. intense radiation released by such a blast can have devastating effects on the local flora and fauna, mutating them into hideous monstrosities fit only for a quick death.
To the contrary, General. Our memory banks suggest quite the opposite. Our previous residents managed to acquire samples of some materials created shortly after the first bombs fell, and what they found was illuminating, to say the least. Materials of exceptional versatility and volatility. However, if you can stabilize them fast enough, a jaunt into a blast zone, it seems, could be a productive one. Documentation related to these materials can be found in the archives. As well, the fissures that have cropped up around the region seem promising as possible sources of materials, along with some added pest control. The map in this room contains the locations of these fissures, if you're looking for a target. Now, with that out of the way, it's about time you got your hands dirty.